A perfectly normal couple has a baby, but very unexpectedly, the baby is born without arms, or legs, or even a body. It's just a head. Nevertheless, the couple embrace their roles as parents, and, as unusual as it is, they raise their baby, trying to make his life as normal as possible. Obviously, it's a struggle, but they manage, and they love and treat their son like any other normal kid. Well, as much as possible. On the day of their son's 21st birthday, the father decides to take his son for his first official real drink as an adult. So they go to the local pub, where the father proudly puts the head on the bar and orders 2 shots of the finest. The bartender can't believe what he's seeing, but goes and gets the drinks. The father takes the drinks, cheers the glasses together, and takes down his shot while pouring it into his son's mouth. Lo and behold, the head starts wiggling and shaking, and suddenly, dramatically, it sprouts an entire torso. "What the hell?" screams the dad. "Bartender, 2 more shots!" And they do it again, and the torso and head start wiggling and shaking, and boom, the son sprouts 2 arms. "Unbelievable!" screams the dad. "2 more shots!" And this time, of course, the son, delirious with happiness, does his own shot. And the subsequent shaking and wiggling leads to him instantly sprouting 2 legs. "2 more shots!" screams the dad. "Holy shit! Wait!" screams the son. "Look! I can walk! I can run!" And with that, the son goes running out the door, straight into traffic, and gets obliterated by a bus. Says the bartender. Should have quit while he was ahead. A politician dies and ends up at the pearly gates. St. Peter looks at him and finds his name in his book. "So you're a politician?" "Well, yes. Is there a problem?" "Oh, no, there is no problem. But we have a policy for people in your profession. You have to spend a day each in heaven and hell, and then you will be free to choose where you want to spend the rest of eternity." "Why can't I choose now? Why do I have to spend a day in hell?" "Well, that is the policy." First, the politician spends a day in heaven. He sees angels singing and people playing harps. He finds heaven very boring for him. Next, he spends a day in hell. Upon arriving there, he expects to see barren wastelands with rivers of lava and people being boiled alive, but instead sees lush greenery and a large 5-star hotel in front of him. At the hotel entrance, he sees Satan wearing a tuxedo and sipping on a martini. This isn't what I expected hell to be. "Oh, hell has been completely misrepresented. We have a luxury 5-star hotel with 7-course meals prepared by the best chefs. And we have all the sporting facilities you could imagine with a very large pool. All this is for free." So the politician spends the entire day playing golf and eating his meals by the poolside. At the end of the day, he sleeps in the most luxurious bed he could imagine in a very large suite. The next morning, when he wakes up, he is back at the pearly gates where St. Peter is waiting for him. "So, what will it be?" I can't believe I'm saying this, but I prefer hell. So the politician is transported back to hell, where he sees a barren wasteland illuminated only by the glow of rivers of lava, and hears the screams of people being tortured. The air is full of the stench of sulfur. Once again, he sees Satan in his tux. "What happened to the hotel, the golf course, the pool, and all the greenery I saw yesterday?" "Well, yesterday we were campaigning. Today you voted." Harold got in bed, kissed his lovely wife, and fell into a deep sleep. He awoke before the pearly gates, and St. Peter said, "You died in your sleep, Harold." Harold was stunned. "I'm dead? No, I can't be. I've got too much to live for. Send me back to my wife." St. Peter said, "Perhaps that can be arranged, but there aren't many open spots right now. You've got 2 alternatives. You can come back to your house as a goldfish or as a hen." Harold never liked swimming and thought that perhaps being a hen wouldn't be that bad after all. The chickens his wife raised just ran around pecking at the ground, no stress, and at least he'd still be close to her. Harold replied, "Okay then, I choose to be a hen." The next thing he knew, he was covered with feathers, clucking and pecking the ground in his old backyard. Another hen strolled up and said, "So, you're the new hen. Nice to meet you. How's your first day here?" "Not bad," replied Harold, "but I have this strange feeling inside like I'm going to explode." "You're ovulating," explained the hen. "Don't tell me you've never laid an egg before." "Never," said Harold. "Well, just cluck twice and then push." Harold clucked twice and pushed, and voila, out popped an egg. Harold was overcome with emotion as he experienced motherhood for the first time. He then clucked twice, pushed, and out came another egg. It felt amazing. He never knew it was like this. Just as he was about to lay his third egg, his wife called out to him, "Harold, Harold!" Happiness filled Harold as he saw her running towards him. Knowing she was there to share this moment, he was overwhelmed by joy. He clucked once, clucked twice, and suddenly felt his wife smack the back of his head. "Damn it, Harold, wake up! You're shitting the bed!" Once upon a time, there lived a beautiful queen with large breasts. Sid, the dragon slayer, obsessed over the queen for this reason. He knew that the penalty for his desire would be death, should he try to touch them, but he had to try. One day, Sid revealed his secret desire to his colleague, Nathan the erudite lawyer, the king's chief advisor. Nathan thought about this and said that he could arrange for Sid to more than satisfy his desire, but it would cost him 1,000 gold coins to arrange it. Without pause, Sid readily agreed to the scheme. The next day, Nathan got a batch of itching powder and poured a little bit into the queen's bra while she bathed. Soon after she dressed, the itching commenced and grew intense. Upon being summoned to the royal chambers to address this incident, Nathan informed the king and queen that only a special saliva, if applied for 4 hours, would cure this type of itch, and Nathan advised that only the saliva of Sid would work as the antidote to cure the itch. The king, eager to help his queen, quickly summoned Sid to their chambers. Nathan then slipped Sid the antidote for the itching powder, which he put into his mouth, and for the next 4 hours, Sid worked passionately on the queen's large and magnificent breast. The queen's itching was eventually relieved, and Sid left satisfied and hailed as a hero. Upon returning to his chamber, Sid found Nathan demanding his payment of 1,000 gold coins. With his obsession now satisfied, Sid couldn't have cared less knowing that Nathan could never report this matter to the king, and with a laugh, told him to get lost. The next day, Nathan slipped a massive dose of the same itching powder into the king's underwear. The king immediately summoned Sid. A man obsessed with trains finally steals one and immediately crashes it, killing several people. At the trial, the man is found guilty of multiple murders and sentenced to death. Before he faces his sentence, he's offered a last meal and asks for a single banana, which is given to him. The next day, he's led to the electric chair. They strap him in, pull the switch, and nothing happens. There's never been a failure before. But because you cannot punish a person twice for the same crime, the court is forced to let him go free. Within a week's time, naturally, the man, who is obsessed with trains, goes and steals another one. He doesn't care that he can't drive it, or that he failed catastrophically before. He is obsessed with trains, and his only desire is to operate one. As before, he crashes it and kills several people. Again, he stands trial, and again he is sentenced to death, showing no remorse, only delight that he got to operate the train. His last meal request is a single banana. When he goes to the chair, the executioner pulls the switch, but nothing happens. He goes free again. The train-obsessed maniac, once more on the loose, wastes no time in hijacking a train and crashing it. His trial is speedy because this has already happened twice and he is sentenced to death. They ask him what he'd like for his last meal. "A single banana," he says. "Oh, no you don't, you son of a bitch. We're on to you now. We know all about your little banana trick and you're not escaping this time." The guards refuse his request and instead serve him a standard last meal of steak, potatoes, and berry cobbler. The next morning they strap him into the electric chair, pull the switch, and nothing happens. "Did you give him the banana?" demands the head guard. "No, sir. He asked for the banana, but we didn't give it to him. We swear," says one of the guards. Turns out the banana had nothing to do with anything. He was just a really bad conductor. 3 explorers get lost in a huge jungle. After wandering around for days, they are found and captured by a jungle tribe. The tribesmen take the explorers to their leader and drop them at his feet. The chieftain looks at them for a moment and says, "The 3 of you will die unless you manage to do a near impossible task. Each of you must gather 10 fruits of the same kind and bring them to me." The explorers cannot believe their luck at being given such an easy task. They set out their separate ways to find a fruit as fast as they can. The first one finds an apple tree and so quickly gathers 10 of them. The second one finds some cherries and plucks a bunch of them. They rush to the chieftain and present the fruits. The chieftain smiles and says, "Now you must shove them up your butt one by one. And if you make any noise or facial expression, I will slit your throat right here." The first explorer, resigned to his fate, puts on a brave face and starts shoving the apples. He gets to 4 and then he can't take it anymore. As soon as he yells in despair, the chieftain takes his knife and ends him. The first explorer dies and reaches the gates of heaven, and while he is walking in, he sees the second explorer running to catch up with him. "Why are you here? I thought you only had 10 small cherries with you," the first guy asks him. The second explorer laughs and says, "Well, all was going fine, and I was just sliding the 9th cherry inside, but then I saw our friend dragging a cart of the largest pineapples I have ever seen behind him, and I burst out laughing." A blonde boards a plane, flying economy. Once the plane has taken off and the seatbelt signs have turned off, she gets up, takes her stuff, and moves a few rows forward to an unoccupied first-class seat. One of the cabin crew approaches her and politely says, "Excuse me, madame, but you can't sit here. This is a first-class seat, and you've only paid for an economy seat. I must kindly ask you to return to the seat you paid for." She looks up at the attendant and quite pompously announces, "I'm young, I'm beautiful, I'm flying to Los Angeles, and I want to fly first class, so I'm not moving." The attendant retreats, somewhat flustered. He speaks to the cabin chief, who approaches the woman and tells her the same thing. "Madame, please return to the seat you bought." The same response. "I'm young, I'm beautiful, I'm flying to Los Angeles, and I want to fly first class. I'm not moving." The cabin chief speaks to the cockpit crew. The co-pilot smiles and says, "Don't worry, I'm married to a blonde. I know how to speak to them." He calmly gets up and approaches the woman, asking her to move. Same response. Then he bends down and whispers something to her, whereupon she promptly gets up, takes her belongings, and returns to her original seat. The cabin crew are stunned. The chief approaches the co-pilot and asks, "What the hell did you say to her?" "It's quite simple, really. When she said she was flying to Los Angeles, I said, 'Yes, madame. But you see, first class isn't going to Los Angeles. Only economy is.'